We will support a constitutional amendment if it says that the definition of marriage is to be determined via national referendum.
Then we'll wait for the train to crash on us. Our Constitution sets a very high bar for the holding of referenda. A referendum is required when sovereignty or the command of our armed forces and police is at stake. We have only one referendum in our history on merger with Malaysia. We should be very careful about elevating any matter to this level, saying it is equivalent to an issue on sovereignty. It's the duty of elected MPs to consult, to discuss, and to come to a decision, even and perhaps especially for difficult and polarizing social issues. The PSP says that we should not allow Parliament to decide, but instead let the definition of marriage be decided by national referendum. This might seem seductive, but let's call it what it is. It's an attempt to avoid taking a position as parliamentarians, as elected representatives of the people. Even if a referendum is held, which side will the PSP be on? Will the PSP try to bring people together or stay silent on where it stands on heterosexual marriage, as it's doing in this debate? Also, will the referendum settle this issue once and for all? Let us not look for politically easy options and cite referendum as an easy solution, just so that a decision does not have to be made in Parliament. In any case, even if the PSP wants a referendum, does it or does it not support the constitutional amendments?
I wish to clarify that our position on wanting the definition of marriage to be determined via a national referendum instead of Parliament is not a convenient way to avoid difficult decisions. A case in point would be the fact that we do have a position on 377A, which is also a difficult one. We are aware of the government's position on what the criteria for holding a referendum. It's just that we have a slightly different view on what are the issues that should go for a referendum. In this particular case, on the issue of the definition of marriage, we feel that this is an issue that is important to many Singaporeans, and there is a high level of interest from the public to have a say in this matter. And since it is an area that does not require any specialized knowledge, which makes it unsuitable for participation from members of the public, we feel that and actually marriage, as many members have pointed out, is a matter of social norm. We feel that this is an area that is suitable for the public to participate.
I think the most important question is not the referendum, is what is PSP's position on the constitutional amendment? Are they for or against? And therefore, when the referendum, if held, are they for or against?
As far as the vote for the constitutional amendment is concerned, we will be voting no because of what I explained earlier, that we would like the definition of marriage to be via referendum rather than through Parliament.
Finally, that's come out in the open. So we know that they're going to support the repeal of 377A, sorry. Repeal of 377A, but they will not support that the constitution, the amendment to the constitution be made, which means that while now there could be no further challenges to 377A because it doesn't exist, there will now be new challenges that will be put up in court on constitutional grounds that other institutions like marriage and families, important to many Singaporeans, will now stand before the court. And then we're back to square one again. We have to reactively again come to make a decision or wait for the court to make that decision.
We will support a constitutional amendment if it says that the definition of marriage is to be determined via national referendum.
Then we'll wait for the train to crash on us.